Hey, this is Coffee with Friends, and I am raw to the bone. Just that quick, I got distracted. I'm telling you, my mind be racing, y'all. But anyway, come on in, come on in. It's Freestyle Friday, but I have a topic. The topic is on the board, so we're going to talk about that. So come on in, come on in. I'm going to start y'all out with some positive vibes because you know what I say. It's going to be a what?
Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun.
Hey.
Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do.
The aftermath of preparation.
Good food, good mood.
Blood and circulation.
One step at a time.
Yeah, that's how you make it.
Set a goal
you control, and the steps you take them.
I try to pick one
thought, have some concentration.
And if I make a mistake,
it's called education.
I try to do this every day and call it replication. What?
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up,
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
today's gonna be a good day.
Hey, wake up.
Today's gonna be
It's
a
Friday,
good day.
y'all.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Life ain't easy, though. I think there's a reason, though.
Ups and downs.
Just like every different season.
What?
Sometimes I'm high,
Other times I'm barely breathing, y'all.
You always gotta fight night
From the demons, y'all.
Negative thoughts are poison they ride. Head full of thoughts, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap.
All the bad for the good in my head.
When I'm lost.
What? So I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive vibes are overtaken.
I got patience.
One day at a time, that's how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes
temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation.
I live my life in my head
like a narration.
Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it.
Wake up,
today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Come on.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up,
today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up,
today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hey, good morning, Hillbilly. Good morning. How are you? Hillbilly, we are in the spring. You haven't given us an update on what's happening with your business. You know we are interested here. I talk about you all the time, Hillbilly. I do. Because you know how I feel. And just this past weekend or whatever in Houston, I brought you up because I said I have a hillbilly on my platform and I'm real interested in his life, right? And in learning. And so I talk about you often, hillbilly, because it's a culture that I have never experienced before. And so I do appreciate you being here. I do appreciate you popping in. I do appreciate it. So thank you. All right. Get your coffee. It's Friday. I got up late this morning. Last night, yesterday I had a therapy session, right? I live my life out loud. What I learned in therapy is that, or what I'm discovering, and this was only my second session, but what I'm discovering is that although I live my life out loud, there is a part of me that's isolated. Weird, right? Like you would think as loud as I am, I would have no isolation points in my life, but I'm very isolated in certain aspects of my life. And that's some of the stuff that came out in therapy yesterday. And, It's amazing because I go to therapy and I make sure I take a book, right? Because that's what she told me to do. And I took my notes. Good morning, Johnny Leon Hill. I took my notes in therapy yesterday. You see my notes. And it's amazing. You know, as strong as I am, as resilient as I am, right? As loud as I live my life, right? What unpacked in therapy yesterday was very interesting. And to find out based on my responses and based on some of the things that I said in therapy, I really kind of have a wall up. I really live a part of my life isolated. It's interesting. I have a lot to unpack, right? And so I don't know who on here goes to therapy, but I have my daily mood chart, right? So this morning, I woke up this morning. Uh, I was tired. I'm going to say I was tired. And from 8 a.m. to 10, I was okay. Oh, this is a daily. So I need another one. I have to print another one for today. But this is my, good morning, Val. This is my mood chart for the day. And this is my mood chart for the week. And so I'm going to start doing that, checking my mood. So if anybody wants to do a mood chart, you can follow along, create your own mood chart, just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. And from the times, I can share with you the form. Good morning, Mother. But so that's one of the things that I got for homework, right? Now, you remember the last time I went to therapy, one of the questions that I was asked was, am I worthy of goodness, right? And initially when she asked me that question, inside I was like, hell yeah, I'm worthy of goodness. I'm worthy of goodness. What is she talking about? But I never answered her because in my head, I immediately said, I'm worthy of goodness, right? But when I took a breath and I thought about that, I said, if I truly felt that I am worthy of goodness, then why did I make the choices that I made? Why did I accept less than in relationships, right? And this is something you have to think about because a lot of us walk around with this chest, we are good enough. We are too good. We better than. I'm worthy of goodness. But when you unpack that and you look at your life, what does your life speak? Like my mouth can say a million things. Yes, I'm worthy of goodness. My mouth can say that. But my life said something else. My life said I didn't believe I was worthy of goodness. That hurt my fucking feelings. It did. Because all this time I thought I was worthy of goodness, but the way I'm navigating, I shouldn't say the way I'm navigating in my life because I'm not navigating like that no more. But the way I navigated through my life, the significant others I picked, the friendships I picked, the bullshit I put up with in some of the friendships. Those actions said, I'm not worthy of goodness. Because if I thought I was, I would not have accepted that. That was a wake-up call for me. That was a fucking wake-up call for me. That right there had me fucked up. It did. It had me fucked up because actions. And we talk about this. Just like we talk about love is an action, not just a feeling. I could feel like I'm worthy of goodness. I could feel that all day. But what does my actions show? What do your actions show? When you ask yourself that question, what does your action show? That could be the jobs you choose, not pouring into yourself to start something you might want to do, business, hobby, whatever it is, taking away from yourself. Are you worthy of goodness? My initial answer was yes. After thinking about my life choices, it was a no. It's a hard reality. It's a hard reality. Mm. And so in underneath am I worthy of goodness goes back to I have a wall up. I live my life out loud, right? I live my life out loud. And yet there are portions of my life that I shelter. Johnny, you said I get that. I share a lot about myself, but as much information may hear about me, it is very different than knowing me. That was, oh my, Johnny. You know, my therapist said to me, that same thing, knowing me. Knowing me. How does someone get to truly know me? Right? I have to let them in. And even though I jump on this platform and I tell y'all my deepest secrets, it's still a whole nother aspect of me that I hide, that I didn't realize I was hiding. Right? I got work to do. And it's connected to trauma. It's connected to abandonment issues. It's connected to fear, which triggers my anxieties. It's connected, right? What am I afraid of? I have anxieties all the time. There's a fear that is causing my anxieties. Fear is causing my anxieties. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of many things. That's the aspect and that's the part of my life that many people don't know about me, right? And because I keep that in a shell or isolated or to the side, there's a level of fear, which triggers my anxieties. Because I live in a space of what if all of this happens? What if this? What if that? Right? This is shit that I'm unpacking in therapy, y'all. Things that you find out about yourself when you're talking out loud to somebody else that's listening, that's not interjecting, that's not giving advice, that's not judging you, that don't even know you. Right? Good morning, Tamika. I don't think worthy is right. Can you bring goodness into your life is a better question. Well, a question from the therapist hillbilly is, am I worthy of goodness? I agree with the question only because, do I think I think about it this way. Do you think that I deserve goodness, right? If I thought I deserved goodness, then I would bring goodness into my life based on my choices. So do I think I deserve goodness, right? And it's a good question because people grow up not thinking that they deserve that. For whatever reason, guilt, shame. Because hillbilly, the way you phrase it, I bring a lot of goodness into my life. I do. I bring a lot of goodness into my life. But do I feel worthy of it is another question. And again, Immediately I say yes. But baby, based on some of these raggedy motherfucking friends I had chosen, based on these raggedy motherfucking relationships I chosen, I didn't think I was. And so she asked me, how am I moving different? And I tell her, scary. I'm scared with friends. I'm scared with relationships. Like, relationships terrify me. Like, it take me a long time to feel like, and it's a problem. Like, I have trust issues, right? And so I could be with you for a period of time, but I have trust issues. So I need the person to really make me feel secure. Not that I'm insecure, but I have trust issues. So I need you to show up consistently. And it's going to take a minute for me to feel comfortable in that space because I've been disappointed so many times. And I think when I think about getting into new relationships, a fear sweeps over me. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm scared about the what if. What if it doesn't work? What if I get disappointed? What if this motherfucking cheat? What if I have to stab this nigga? I be thinking about all of that up front. Right? Worthy to me suggests someone else give you goodness. If you are worthy, I might be splitting hairs. Okay. Johnny said trauma makes you a control freak and things that are out of your control can make you anxious. Johnny, you know, it's so crazy because I have anxieties for, I don't even know why I get anxieties. Like they'll just come upon me and I'll start thinking, why am I anxious? Why am I this? Why am I that? And so she started to break that down for me yesterday, right? And it's because one of the things that came out is because I'm constantly in overthinking mode, right? Okay, I'm about to go here, but what if this happens? And what if that happens? And what if this? And what if that? And what if this? And everything that I'm afraid of is in my head. And it fucks with me. I got a lot of work to do, y'all. You know, it's very scary because I'm not much of a talker. I don't really live in vulnerable spaces because, unfortunately for me, I haven't had many people in my life that have allowed a vulnerable place for me to land. And so I have learned to always be in this strong position, even though inside I be crying sometime, y'all. I be so sad, I be crying. Good morning, Zen. Hey, Kayla, good morning. You know, inside I be crying, but on the outside, I feel like I have to have this tough exterior about me. I have a lot of work to do, y'all. But the mere fact is I'm doing the work. Okay, so second therapy session down. And I've learned that my boundaries are fucked up. Okay. I was a people pleaser. I'm constantly in caretaker mode. You know, why do I find it so difficult to maintain my boundaries? Right? Why do I find it so difficult to maintain my boundaries? It's attached to something. Because if I maintain my boundaries, will I lose that person that I love, that I say I love? Right? Equals abandonment issues. So I let my boundaries get pushed. What I need to learn is that I deserve goodness, right? I deserve to give myself goodness. I deserve to receive goodness, right? And if people love me as they say they love me and they mean well by me, then I should clearly be able to express how I feel and what it is I want. But I be afraid sometimes because I don't like to lose people. I mean, I know I lost some people and that's good, but I guess I'm still working on that aspect of myself, abandonment issues. Right? One of the things she asked me was, do you ever feel lonely? Growing up, yes. And she said, why? She said, were you alone? I said, no, but I felt lonely. I was surrounded by a bunch of people in my family, but I felt lonely. She said, why did you feel lonely? Nobody else was pregnant at 15. Nobody else had a kid at 16. I didn't think anybody could relate to what I was going through. I was homeless, basically, because I was hopping from here to there to everywhere, whoever would let me stay for a period of time. So I felt like I wasn't wanted. I felt like nobody wanted to support me, help me, guide me. I was lost. I was lonely. I felt abandoned. That's a childhood trauma that is living in my life as an adult. And so a part of me shelters certain aspects of my life in fear that I will experience all of those things that I experienced as a child. I run from it. But I can't continue to run. I got to work on it. I got to unpack it because it's affecting how I move in relationships. It's affecting my trust levels. It's affecting everything. And so I just wanted to share this with y'all today because I don't want y'all to think that I get on this platform and I know everything. And I don't want you to think that I get on this platform because I'm healed. I am healing. I am not healed. That was the reason for me to be on this platform, to start this platform, because I needed help. I needed healing. And then an audience of people came that was going and working on same similar thing. Zen child, I can't even cry. Like, I be crying inside. I do. Right? I be crying inside. Right? So I'm just here to say that I am a work in progress. I'm still working on myself. But the good thing is I'm working on myself and I'm taking my notes in therapy. So I'm going to share with you some books. There's a book because I like to bring good information. I have to find out about the meditation book. It's by John Kapazan. There's a book out there by John Kapazan. It's about meditation, and it's a lot of read. But if you're interested in meditation, for a person like me, I started back meditation this morning, right? And my mom had bought me this singing bowl a couple of years back for my birthday. And I appreciate it, right? She bought this for me when I was going through a hard time in my life, when I was separating from my last relationship. And one of the things that came up in therapy yesterday was I need to get back into meditation. I need to meditate because what is being discovered about me is that my mind doesn't rest. Like, I'm literally exhausted all day, but I cannot sleep. I'm literally just mentally drained, right? But I can't stop thinking, right? I'm tired and just want to sit down. But when I'm home, I can't sit down. I'm pacing, I'm moving. You would think I'm on some drugs. My mind doesn't rest. I get in the bed to go to bed. I toss and turn. I can't sleep. So I was advised to get back into meditation. So I was recommended the book by John Kapazan on meditation, okay? And this morning, I got back into I did a meditation session this morning with my singing bowl. I know y'all know what this sounds like, right? I know some people on here don't like the singing bowl, but this is my peace when I meditate, okay? This is how I love this, okay? And so I got back into, I just started today on medication for this. I mean meditation, meditation. And thank you, Mother, again for the singing bowl, because I know I don't use it often, but I know it's here, and the mere fact that I have it is a blessing. All right. And so the other book that she recommended was Self-Love. It's a book called Self-Love. I don't know the author. I will look it up and share it with you guys, but it's a workbook, right? Because one of the things she asked me is, what is one of the immediate things that you think you need to work on, right? And I said self-love. And she was surprised. I mean, she could tell I've been doing the work on this platform. You guys have been helping me do the work, right? Therapy is that step up for me. And she was like, I'm impressed with that answer. I said, I know I need to focus on self-love. I walk around all the time talking about I love myself. I love myself. Okay, Zen, I would love that. I love myself. I love myself. But do I? Again, I go back to the choices I make, the things that I do, the people that I'm around. All of that determines self-love, right? And you cannot offer somebody else something you are not giving yourself. So self-love, there's a workbook. Once I find out all the different details, I will share the author of that, right? And so, mindfulness is another thing that I was instructed to do. Train the mind, right? Live in the present moment. That's what I need to do. Train the mind. Yes, Zen, I need that because I really would love to have, my apartment is not big enough. I really would like to have the floor singing bowls too, and learn how to play all the singing bowls. One day when I get a big enough house or a big enough space, I would like to dedicate a room just for meditation and shit like that, because I think it's important for me anyway. Right. And so I wanted to share that with you. And for anybody that suffers anxieties, like I know my anxieties are attached to fear, right? The one question she asked me was, what is the worst thing that can happen? Right? What is the worst thing that can happen? Give you an example, right? Y'all know that I had a fucked up surgery experience, right? One of my fears is, I know y'all remember when I said, when the world opened up, right, and I started to go into the city to meet my girlfriend Maria, I used to get anxieties. I still get them, but not as bad as before. Before, it used to be a major diarrhea session. I know TMI, my stomach would hurt. I feel nauseous. It was a big old fucking deal. And I still kept going. I still kept pushing myself. And every time I got off the bus at Port Authority, I would make a mad dash to the Port Authority bathroom. I would make a dash to the Port Authority bathroom. And it wasn't to shit, it was to pee. Right? Now, y'all know, y'all know I had the botch surgery, right? My fear is peeing myself. I know some people gonna laugh at that, but that's a big fear for me. Okay? Because after my surgery, my bladder control, I live my life out loud. My bladder control became suspect. I wasn't able to hold my pee. And so immediately when I made plans to go out and to get on the bus and go into the city, first thing I thought was, what if I have to pee? What if the bus gets caught in traffic? What if I don't make it? I'm going to pee myself. What if I get to the bar and there's a long line and at the bathroom? What if I pee myself? This was a constant fear of mine, and still is since surgery, and still is. What if I pee myself? So it would fuck me up. I never peed myself, but I have peed in the street, parking lots, because I can't hold my pee. I just did it at the rodeo. Peed in the parking lot. Right? Because I had a surgery that impacted my bladder control. And it's a fear. So you know what the therapy asked me? Do you wear anything in case you pee yourself? I was like, no. You're asking me to wear a pamper or a posy or whatever they fucking call them, a pose? She was like, yes. I was like, no, I could never. And she said, why? Because I can't. Because that would make it a reality. That would mean that I fucking need a posy in case I piss myself. Like, that would become a reality for me, and that's not the reality I want. What's the worst that can happen? Fear. And so I got a lot of work to do. Zen, you said that's a lot of homework. I know. And the thing is I'm on a weekly schedule with her. And so I see her again next week. You know? I mean, it's $100 a month to get some therapy. But Zen, I really need to connect with you because I'm really interested in the singing bowl meditation. I don't know, my money ain't long right now. I got a lot of shit going on, but I would really like to invest in something like that. Zen said, I cry inside a lot, but when I cry, there's a reason. I believe that. Clive said, it's how you express to the other person how you feel and what you want. I know, Clive, I need help. I'm not very good at that because I've been so disappointed. Ugh. Like, good morning, Ghost. Oh, you did, Ghost. I had therapy yesterday, so I checked out. What you need from me, Ghost? I checked out. I had to take a mental break. I did. I'm sorry, boo. I need help with that. It's hard for me to express to somebody how I feel and what I want because I've been so disappointed. I feel so disappointed over the times that I did express how I feel and what I wanted, and they let me down. And so now I'm afraid that either I'm going to be let down or either they're going to leave. You can't cash at me. That's where all the money is, Ghost. I need you to cash at me. Where's my phone? 1 second. Let me go get my phone. I'm sorry, Ghost. I'm sorry. All the money for the house is in my Cash App, so it would be best if you cash at me. Oh, okay. Yeah, Zell me then, Ghost. Zell me. Yes, to my phone number. You got my phone number. Just Zell me. Y'all are a nightmare, pain in the ass. All right. So I shared a little bit of my therapy session because I want y'all to know that not only am I up here, coffee with friends, talking about healing, I myself have to take the journey to heal. And I hope that, in everything that I do, that I inspire someone else to do better and be better because I want to be better. I want to do better. And I'm not perfect, right? And I need to unpack some shit, right? Even though it's going to cost me $100 a month because she wants to see me every week. I mean, I need a budget for all of this shit, right? Good morning, Shirley. Oh, good luck on the oral surgery. Oh my God. Zen said, oh, let me go up because Johnny, I done missed some shit. Can someone help me figure something? Singing bowl is supposed to be calming, but it irks my nerves. What's wrong with me? It's not you, Johnny. It's not you. You just don't like the frequency, and that's okay. It's not you. Zen said they ring at different frequencies and it's supposed to be common to parts of you depending on your frequency. They say if you have issues with it, it's chasing the bad out of you. Oh, shit! Well, Johnny, let me hit this bowl a couple of more times. I remember you said it irked you. That's why I said some people don't like the bowl because I remember somebody on here said that before. But this shit calms the fuck out of me. And I love when other people play it, you know? Right, Valerie. I don't want to wear no posy or whatever they called. I'm not doing that. Like, uh-uh. Like that's the depressing part for me because I didn't ask for this. I didn't fucking ask to have this issue. Good morning. Happy Friday, Aquanda. You know, Aquanda, a very serious moment, y'all. Aquanda, when you post certain stuff on social media and people are reaching out to you and you're not responding, I think that that's very unfair. But I love you, right? I had therapy yesterday, but a part of me was focused on what's happening with you. And I could not fully get that out of my head. I just needed you to reach out and say something to me, something to somebody, right? You post stuff and then you go ghost and then you show up on my show. It's nerve-wracking. Is there something we can help you with? Is there anything you need any one of us to do, say, help you with, prayers? What is it you need, Aquanda? Because I get nervous when I see people post certain things. This is a family. This is supposed to be a safe place. Tell us what you need. How can we help you? Yep, Johnny. I'm going to chase the bad out you. I'm going to hit this bowl again. Right, I am Jacinta. Let her know. It was that I posted or reposted. You know, Aquanda, they put people on the 6th floor for posts like that. And I'm not being funny because I'm just going to take a moment, guys, because, and if you didn't see the post, then it's your loss. I put it in Discord. It's on Aquanda's page. Aquanda, when you post something like that, people are going to take it serious, right? But if you say, I'm okay, y'all, sometimes when I'm going through it, I go too far, I'm still here, then people are going to start ignoring your cries for help. You understand what I'm saying? Like, something as dramatic as that, if I lived in your city, I might have pulled up. I might have pulled up to your house and knocked on your door. A post like that, if I lived in your city, might have had me call medical services and send them to your house. A post like that, next time I might call the suicide hotline and give them your information, right? I just want to warn you because I don't take stuff like that lightly. My uncle committed suicide 2 years ago. I shared that with y'all on here. He shot himself dead in the head. And my cousin, his daughter, found him. I don't play with stuff like that. It's a trigger probably for a lot of people, but you're not responsible for my trigger. So I'm not saying don't do it because I'm triggered. But what I'm saying is I'm letting you know going forward, if I see you posting like that, one or two things is going to happen. I'll ignore it because I'll think you crying wolf, and you don't want that. Okay? Because you might really need help one day, and somebody might think, okay, she's just posting it as usual. Or number two, I'm going to call the suicide hotline and give them your phone number. And it's because I love you. Okay? See, I am the center. Seriously. I don't take things like that lightly. Yes, Ghost, you owe 150, but you could pay more if you want to, because motherfuckers act like they don't want to the fuck pay. Hey, Buffalo Spirit. They will put you on special watch. They will. Okay, and we accept your apology, Aquanda, but not only did you post it, but you made it your wallpaper and your profile picture. It wasn't just a meme. You made that your profile picture and your wallpaper, which is what we see when we go to your page, unless you changed it. Let me go see. Nope, it's still there, right? So it being on your wallpaper and as a profile pic means you permanently want it there and you want us to read it. You want people to see it. That's the part I'm not understanding. And we are here. That's why I ran right to Discord. We are the support system. One of your support systems. Use it. We want to know if you're good. And if you feel safe with anybody on this platform, just reach out to them and talk to them. Right? Yes, you have until March 31st, y'all. You do. But not you, y'all. You responded. I got people that's not responding, is what I'm saying. And it's March 15th. And people are really taking it to March 31st. I don't swear. But there's some people that's not responding. You have responded, y'all. Taquanda has responded. There's people that responded, right? But and then there's those that are not responding. Those are the ones that I'm worried about. And you know what, guys? I know things happen, right? And you might not be able to make the trip. But honestly, out of good moral standings, you should still pay. Because I booked the house based on your commitment to be in the house, which means that I got a big enough house to fit you in it. So when you cancel and you decide not to pay, you are sticking me with the money. Right? So March 31st, today is what? March 15th. So we got 2 more weeks left. And I already know, yes, y'all's money is coming. I know a ghost is sending me his today. I guess, you know, there are people's monies that's coming in, and I know the ones who's going to pay. Right? But I have some newbies and they're very quiet. Okay. So Friendsgiving. All right, y'all. So today is Freestyle Friday. I know I started out deep. Sometimes I do that, y'all. It is what it is because life be life, and I had to share my therapy experience with you guys yesterday. 2 days till baby girl's birthday. Yes! So wait, 2 days. That's Sunday. That is Sunday. A Buffalo Spirit, we speak English here. I'm sorry. Okay? March 15th. March is the month of awareness, all right? I open my heart and mind to be aware. The power to change leads to a powerful change. I'm sorry, Buffalo, but we need to know what you're saying, right? I open my heart and mind to be aware. The power to change leads to a powerful change. Just in case you missed yesterday's message, here is another perspective. No matter what is going on in your life at any given time, there is only one thing you could do. Good morning, Reginaldo from Brazil. No matter how you feel in response to a specific experience, circumstance, situation, or memory, there is always one thing you could do. In every or any situation, regardless of the mitigating factors, you can always change your mind. Thumbs up, y'all. Thumbs up. If what you are thinking, saying, or doing in response to any person or experience is not bringing you peace, change your mind. If your mind is flooded with memories and thoughts of a pain-filled past or a not so promising future, change your mind. You can do it just like that. When you change your mind, the things you've been thinking about, worrying about, crying over, running from will look completely different. It may not be that anything in the actual picture changes. However, your changed mind will alter the way you see it. Brazil. If you are serious about creating a change in your mind, here are a few tips. Do not insist that people be who you want them to be. Baby, let me read this again. If you are serious about creating a change in your mind, here are a few tips. Do not insist that people be who you want them to be. Do not insist that you are someone you are not. Do not insist that you can do things you cannot do. Do not insist that you know things that you don't. Do not insist that you will do things that you won't do. Like pay for this Friendsgiving. Do not insist that everyone is wrong about you. Do not insist that you are right. Whenever you are insistent upon something, you create an attachment. Breaking the attachment creates disruption in the mind. What? Until today, you may not have realized that you can always change your mind. Just for today, be devoted to changing how you think about things, how you see things, and what you tell yourself about everything. Changing your mind about anything or anyone transforms how those things or persons impact your life. Today, I am devoted to changing my mind about things and about myself. What do y'all think about that message? I open my heart and mind to be aware. The power to change leads to a powerful change. That was deep. Do not insist that somebody be who you want them to be. I've been telling people that for years. Do not insist that you're always right. Do not insist that you know everything. You know, be aware that you can change your mind about the situations, circumstances, and things around you. You can change your mind, how you process it, how you think about it, how you execute on these things. You know, one of the most challenging things for me is I used to want to be right. I admit that. And so when people are talking, I would interject or try to explain or try to convince them that I was right. And I saw that in myself and I said, you know what? That's not my job. It's not my job. I don't know everything. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. So now I listen. And when I think I'm about to interject or try to I shut the fuck up. I say to myself, be quiet and let them finish. And then when you respond, don't respond like you know the answer. And sometimes I don't respond at all because I am learning that sometimes people just want to talk and they don't need me to respond. Y'all said convincing people you are something that you are not. Convincing people you are something that you are not. And it doesn't have to be with words, right? You could be moving in a way that is unnatural for you just to convince somebody else that this is who you are, but it's not who you really are. That's why a lot of times when we get into relationships and we get past that representation stage, that representative stage, we like, who the fuck are you? That's not the same person. Because for a year, they were convincing you of something that they are not. And that takes a lot of work. And eventually, they're going to fall back into their natural order. Y'all, that used to be you too, interjecting, thinking saying, trying to convince people to see your side of the story. Now I don't care. It's not that I don't care. I don't have the energy. And I know it's not right because I don't know everything. So sometimes I just listen. So what was the topic we were going to talk about yesterday, right? Can love coexist with abuse? What are your thoughts on that? We started to get into that yesterday, but we didn't get into it. What are your thoughts on can love coexist with abuse? Exactly, Valerie. I do see a change in me, right? And I don't have my fan. Like, where's my other fan? Like, seriously. I don't know, y'all. I don't know where my other fan. Hold on. Oh, I found my other one. Whew. I keep a lot of, well, not a lot of fans, but I have two. I was dying. Okay, let me see. Hillbilly said, Val, we are paying for her and 3 friends to do breakfast, an escape room, and dinner. I love that, Hillbilly. I have always wanted to do an escape room, but I can't find people that want to do it with me. I want to do that, and I want to do the VR sandbox experience where you put on the VR glasses and you fight the zombies and shit. But I can't find anybody that wants to do that with me. Like, I mean, that's not something you do by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so I got to find me some fun friends that like childish games. I don't know. I need some childish friends. Well, not childish, but you know, that like to have fun. Stuff like that. Can love coexist with abuse? Right? Why did I bring this topic up? Because you know, we're reading this book all about love, and I'm finding creative ways to get the message out that's in this book. Because some of us have not, even though we've purchased the book. I'm up to chapter 8. I'm halfway through this book, but some of us, when I got to Houston, it was I read the first page. It was I'm not finished reading the first chapter. It was like I skimmed the book. I was like, hold up. Like, I've been diligently reading this book, writing notes, doing shit. And I'm like, nobody doing this with me. Shirley done read the book. Okay. Angel, who was the other person that recommended the book, she was sick, so she couldn't participate. And I forgot to go live on Discord because, again, I'm a one-man band and I just can't remember everything. And so during the book discussion, I realized that Shirley and I were the only people in the present room that really read the meat of the book. And so I'm finding creative ways to discuss this book, all right? Because you guys are going to learn about fucking love, okay? I don't give a damn, okay? And so, can love coexist with abuse? Chapter 1 focuses on, let me just read y'all the clarity of chapter 1. I'm going to read the clarity piece, right? Clarity, give love words. As a society, we are embarrassed by love. We treat it as if it were an obscenity. We reluctantly admit to it. Even saying the word makes us stumble and blush. Love is the most important thing in our lives, a passion for which we would fight or die. And yet we're reluctant to linger over its names. Without a subtle vocabulary, we can't even talk or think about it directly. Baby, when I read that, I don't know the last time I told somebody I do know the last time I said I love you. But it's hard for me to talk about love with a significant other. It is. It's hard for me to talk about love and to talk about love directly, right? And I don't know why. Again, fear. Fear that I'll love, or fear that I'll express love, or fear that my actions will pour out love and I won't get it back, which leaves me feeling empty, right? We treat it as an obscenity. So, can love coexist with abuse? I'm going to read some stuff that I underlined because I'm reading the book, okay? We use the word love in such a sloppy way that it can mean almost nothing or absolutely everything, right? Echoing the work of Eric Fromm, he defines love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Okay? both in intentional and in action. To truly love, we must learn to mix various ingredients. And we talked about this in Houston: care, affection, recognition, respect, commitment, and trust, as well as honest and open communication. Learning faulty definitions of love when we were quite young. Learning faulty definitions of love when we were quite young makes it difficult to be loving as we get older. We always talk about how we learn love. Sometimes it's how we execute it when we're older. Most of us learn early on to think of love as a feeling. When we understand love as the will to nurture our own and another's spiritual growth, it becomes clear that we cannot claim to love if we are hurtful and abusive. Love and abuse cannot coexist. Love and abuse cannot coexist. That's what this says. Abuse and neglect are by definition the opposites of nurturing and care. Often we hear a man who beats his children and wife and then goes to the corner bar and passionately proclaims how much he loves them. If you talk to the wife on a good day, she may also insist he loves her, despite his violence. You've ever met someone that was in an abusive relationship, but still said that their significant other loved them even though they were being beat down? You ever got a beating as a kid, and while your mother is whipping you, she go, "I'm doing this because I love you"? An overwhelming majority of us come from dysfunctional families in which we were taught we were not okay, where we were shamed, verbally or physically abused, and emotionally neglected, even as we're also taught to believe that we were loved. So some of us grew up in environments where it was dysfunctional, we were verbally, physically abused, but yet told we were loved. Right? For most folks, it is just too threatening to embrace a definition of love that would no longer enable us to see love as present in our families. Too many of us need to cling to the notion of love that either makes abuse acceptable or at least makes it seem that whatever happened was not that bad. Now, some of y'all are probably scratching your heads, right? Because many of us probably grew up in these very same environments. Like I am Jacinta said, oh no, y'all said abuse comes in many forms. If a person doesn't know their behavior is abusive, it doesn't negate the fact that they are still an abuser. Period. Period. And many of us were raised under the description of abuse, not realizing it was abuse because it was normalized, right? This says, raised in a family in which aggressive shaming and verbal humiliation coexisted with lots of affection and care, I had difficulty embracing the term dysfunctional. Since I felt and still feel attached to my parents and siblings, proud of all the positive dimensions of our family life, I did not want to describe us as using the term that implied our life together had been negative or bad. With therapeutic help, I was able to see the term dysfunctional as a useful description and not as an absolute negative judgment. My family of origin provided throughout my childhood a dysfunctional setting, and it remains one. How many people have been in dysfunctional families or are in dysfunctional families? Me. Dysfunctional. It was very dysfunctional. And it doesn't mean that you're saying it's negative. It's not, I'm not saying I'm judging and I'm not expecting anybody else to judge, but it's the reality. This does not mean that it is not also a setting in which affection, delight, and care are present. True. Just because you were in a dysfunctional family does not mean that it was absent of affection and care and love. When we watch Shameless, they love each other, but they dysfunctional as fuck. But they love each other. They give each other some affection, but they dysfunctional. Not surprisingly, this odd mixture of care and unkindness did not positively nurture the growth of my spirit. Now, this is the point. A lot of parents get offended, right? Because the first thing they think when we say we didn't feel loved or we were in a dysfunctional family, parents would be like, I loved you. I loved you. What you talk about? I loved you. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Pressed in therapy to describe my household of origin in terms of whether it was loving or not. I painfully admitted that I did not feel loved in our household, but that I did feel cared for. There's a difference. You can feel loved, but not cared for. And outside my household of origin, I felt genuinely loved by individual family members like my grandfather. This experience of genuine love, a combination of care, commitment, trust, knowledge, and responsibility and respect, nurtured my wounded spirit and enabled me to survive acts of lovelessness. Because she had a grandfather that showed her love through a combination of care, commitment, trust, knowledge, responsibility, and respect. That was the thing that nurtured her wounded spirit and enabled her to survive all the lovelessness that she wasn't getting from the other side of the family. Let me see what you guys are saying. We also need to address the soft generation. Some things that may seem as abuse can just be stern correction that is necessary, in my opinion. Y'all said, I am destined to get used to that child. My kid is 9 and my brain still ain't bounced back. I know that's right. Johnny said, love and abuse can't occupy the same space. It's oil and water. Hillbilly said, I agree, y'all. Sheltering a child is an unkindness to them. It is. It is. It is. Yep. Y'all said facts, Hillbilly. Sheltering a child or a kid sets them up for abuse later. Great point. Pat said, just surviving in this society has been dysfunctional. However, we have come a long way. Give us grace. They gave what they had been given. She's talking about her parents. I say the same thing. My mom gave what she was given. I don't know what the fuck my dad gave. Because based on his parents, he didn't give what I saw them giving. It was weird, but okay. Okay. They gave what they had been given, care. Remember, care is a dimension of love. But simply giving care does not mean we are loving. Baby, somebody break it down, because baby, many of people confuse being loving with care. Remember, care is a dimension of love. Yes, it is a dimension of love. But simply giving care does not mean we are loving. You know? So when motherfuckers mistreat you or make you feel less than, And they go, but I take care of shit, I pay shit. This, you know, this just reminds me of women that stay in marriages because their man pay all the bills and you're comfortable with that. Because care is a dimension of love, but it doesn't mean that you are loving. You're not in a loving situation. I can't control that, Johnny, but thank you. Um, Y'all said, I think the millennials and Gen X are more forgiving of their parents than the current generations. They're cutting ties with the quickness and not looking. Mm. Johnny, gotta remember, I'm not directly on YouTube, right? I'm on Restream, which is streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So the comments that are coming in from Facebook or YouTube might have a milliseconds of delays. Okay. Trying to cling. Okay, let me read this. Like many adults who were verbally and or physically abused as children, I spent a lot of my life trying to deny bad things that had happened, trying to cling only to the memory of good and delicious moments in which I had known care. Mm. Most psychologically and or physically abused children have been taught by parenting adults that love can coexist with abuse. How do you think they were taught that? That love, they were taught by parenting adults that love can coexist with abuse. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? What do you think that means? Hmm. In extreme cases that abuse is an expression of love, this faulty thinking often shapes our adult perceptions of love. It often shapes our adult perceptions of love, meaning we grow up as whole fucking adults and we end up in relationships that provide care but are loveless. In my case, many of the negative shaming practices I was subjected to in childhood continued in my romantic adult relationships. A fucking man. Back to the question of somebody asked me during the weekend in Houston, and somebody made comments on this platform before when they said to me, "Well, Robin, why did you keep choosing those raggedy fucking men?" It says it right here. I was subjected to, it says, in my case, many of the negative shaming practices I was subjected to in childhood continued in my romantic adult relationships. What? I carried my shit into my relationship. I chose my men based on what I thought love was. Good morning, Keita. I chose men based on what I thought love was, right? Because what I was subjected to in my childhood, what I saw in my childhood continued to show up in my romantic relationships. And I don't have nobody to blame but myself. That's where stepping into the room of accountability and going taking your ass to therapy to figure out what is it that you need to heal so that you can be better, have healthier relationships, right? Because a lot of us are operating out of what we knew, what we saw. Childhood trauma, childhood experiences. And then we have a population of people, when they don't understand that, they'll ask you, so why the fuck you keep choosing them? Simple question. Hard answer. Brandilla said they provide care at nursing homes and hospitals, but don't love you. It's a duty. Period. Period. But how many people have you spoken to that are in the most miserable relationships and they go, but he loves me. He cares for me. He does things for me. We confuse a level of care for love. I gave plenty examples, y'all. Build-A-Bears. That is my example. That is exactly what I told my therapist, and I'm not proud to say it. I've taken men from their mama's homes. I've taken men that made way less money. I've taken men that are struggling financially. Build-A-Bears, because that's what I saw in my dad. And it was made to be okay for a woman to take care of a man. What I saw as a child was my mother being the head of the household, my mom going out there working, my mom going out there hustling, her holding down the family dynamics, making sure we ate. I became my parents in a way. I became my mom. I'm providing, I'm hustling. And then I was choosing my men based on my dad because I thought it was okay to help build a bear. Right? Another thing that showed up in my childhood, that shows up in my relationships. Because I felt lonely as a child, right? I didn't want to feel lonely as an adult. And what I realized and what I answered in therapy yesterday is I probably accepted these relationships not to be alone, which meant I didn't think I deserved more. Then a third thing, acceptance, right? I never felt accepted in my family, right? I didn't have many friends. I was a young parent. I didn't have fucking time for friends. I don't have college friends, high school friends, elementary school friends. I don't have none of that because when I had my child, I had to do that. Acceptance. I never felt accepted. All three of these things showed up in my relationships, right? Things that I needed to work on for myself. A lack of sustained love does not mean the absence of care, affection, or pleasure. In fact, my long-term romantic relationships, like the bonds in my family, have been so full of care that it would be quite easy to overlook the ongoing emotional dysfunction. That part, my ex was fabulous. I mean, oh my God. I talk a lot of shit about my ex, okay? But let me give you the good shit. I'm talking about my last ex from 4 years ago, or whatever the fuck, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. He was great. This motherfucker knew how to date me. He knew how to roll out the carpet. He made me happy. We laughed all the time. He know I'm for the shits. I come home, I play music, I grease up myself, I dance at my kitchen island, right? So he would do the same thing. Sometimes I would come home and he'd be all greased up with his sexy little sumo wrestler tie shit on. And he'd be, he had muscles and shit. So he'd come out dancing and grooving to the slow shit because he knew that's what I liked. Yes, he cared for me. He made me laugh. He made me feel loved. But he was also abusive emotionally. And so, like it says here, a lack of sustained love does not mean the absence of care, affection, or pleasure. In fact, my long-term relationships, like the bonds in my family, have been so full of care that it was quite easy to overlook the emotional dysfunction. I completely overlooked it until it broke me. And I could no longer laugh at his jokes. I could no longer go out on dates. I could no longer do it until it broke me emotionally. I didn't see it because I was so busy focusing on the care and all that other stuff that I completely missed the mark on the emotional dysfunction. Right? Good book, y'all. I wasn't lying when I said this was a good book. So I'm going to read this next two things and then I'm going to move to closure. The practice of love, especially difficult, was my constantly choosing to be with men who were emotionally wounded, who were not that interested in believing love. No, let me read that again. The practice of love, especially difficult, was my constantly choosing to be with men who were emotionally wounded, who were not that interested in being loving, even though they desired to be loved. They desired to be loved. Like my ex, he wanted to be loved, but he wasn't interested in being loving. Yes, he did loving acts, but when it came to the emotional protection of my mental, he was not that. He was not that. Naturally, my need to receive love was not met. I got what I was accustomed to getting: care and affection, usually mingled with a degree of unkindness, neglect, and on some occasions, outright cruelty. That is exactly the relationship I was in. Oh, our topic is boring you, Aquanda. You just want to know what people are doing for the holidays. Naturally, my need to receive love was not met. I got what I was accustomed to getting: care and affection, usually mingled with a degree of kindness, neglect, and on some occasions, outright cruelty. Accepting less than. Okay? Accepting less than. Loving it actually, rather than sharing strategies that will help us become more loving, it actually encourages everyone to adapt to circumstances where love is lacking. How many people are adapting to their circumstance instead of really experiencing true love, a loving situation, right? Can love coexist with abuse? No. But for many of us, it does, or we think it does, right? And once you ask yourself this question and you answer it and then you assess your own personal situation, that could be the beginning of your crossroad of change. What did today's reading say? Change your mind. Change your mind, right? I've had friendships. Now, this doesn't only mean for significant others. This is for friendships too. I've been in friendships where these motherfuckers were abusive. Yes, friends can be abusive too. Talk to you any way they want to talk to you, say dumb shit, and for whatever reason you deal. I've been through that too. And I'd be like, oh, that's just how they are. I make excuses for them. Until I stepped into the realm of healing and I was like, fuck them. I'm tired of being made to feel bad. And I'm okay with losing people. And that's when my mind changed. And that's when I started navigating my life differently. And yes, I mourn deep on the inside because when my mind changed, my circle changed, my circumstances changed, a lot of things changed. And I had to deal with that loss, that mourning period, that grief. But once I came from out of that dark space, I had a sense of freedom. And I was okay. And I was able to assess my friends, the ones that I've lost, and the ones that I never want to get back. I was able to assess that. And then there were the friends that I still had grace for, that I would allow back in my life. And I feel free. I felt free. I was able to let go of even friends that were abusive, that didn't want to change, that didn't give a damn about my feelings. They only gave a damn about theirs, right? This is not just for significant others. This is for family. This is for friends. Fuck that. Let's learn healthy ways of loving. My eye is jumping. I don't know. What does it mean when your right eye jump? Because maybe, I hope it's money. Because this shit is jumping. Brandilla said, emotionally wounded men is mostly what I've dealt with. Okay, Brandilla, why is that? You see, it comes from somewhere. That's the shit you got to unpack. Why are all your men that you've dealt with emotionally wounded? Me too. Me too. I haven't met a man yet that's not emotionally wounded. Not yet. Right? But what I'm hoping that is when we meet these men, that with them being emotionally wounded, they're willing to get therapy. That's what we're hoping. It's being with emotionally wounded men that's not looking to get better. If that's the problem. Because I'm emotionally wounded. But I'm working on being better. Right? Hey, Deb. Yes, y'all, I did. And you know, I cared and now I don't. I don't. Because true friends never get lost. You understand what I'm saying? I have a friend. I have 3 core friends. I don't talk to them on a regular basis, but I could pick up the phone at any given moment and they're there. Those are my friends. Then there's those that called themselves my friends, and I called them my friends. But as soon as my boundaries got enforced, those are not your friends. That's how you weed out the weeds. That's how you weed out the weeds. And you know what? God has been good. Because I released those people and I got a new village being built up around a platform of people that want to do better and be better. Right? This is what makes me happy. Right? And some of my friends, even my core friends, y'all have never seen not one of my core friends support none of my trips, none of my platforms, none of my stuff. Right? I mean, you haven't seen them, right? On my show or on my trips and stuff like that. But I've learned to accept them for who they are, and they've learned to accept me for who I am, and they support me in different ways, and I'm okay with that. But what I won't do is, or what I'm trying not to do is move my boundaries. I'm trying to work on keeping my boundaries and staying steadfast. I am. I'm a work in progress. All right. And so today was heavy. Normally Freestyle Friday is light and we talk about light stuff and we just jump around and stuff like that. But I needed to break down my journey in therapy, which led me to continue to talk about, can love coexist with abuse? Because I have been trying to talk about that for a couple of days, right? And so again, I hope that these topics and the things that we discuss here resonates with you. And if it doesn't, but I hope it resonates with someone. Okay? Even if it's one person that it resonated with today. That's enough for me. They are rampant in our community. Many of us have been through a lot. Yes. Yes, you did, Deb. I've been on since 8:05 or something like that. Yeah. Or 8:15, something like that. I jumped on. I don't remember. But it was a good show. We talked about, can love coexist with abuse? And I read today's positive thought. And so I want you guys to navigate through that. Debbie, I also shared my therapy session last night because I want to be as transparent as I can. And, it's amazing. I thought I was being transparent all this time. And the mere fact that I found out in therapy yesterday that there's a whole side of me that I shelter. There's a whole wall that I have up out of fear. And you know what? It's amazing because people might look at me and be like, this bitch talk about everything. She live loud, loud, loud. And I say the same thing, but I'm not living as loud as y'all think. It seemed like I am, but there are certain things in me that I shelter out of fear. I'm a work in progress, y'all. I am. I am. And so with that, I hope you motherfuckers have a good weekend. All right. Brandon said, I'm sure it's something to do with my environment. I grew up in West Baltimore. There are a lot of dysfunction there. It was probably normalized in my mind somehow. Yeah. Okay. All right, Aquanda. So you rocking green for St. Patrick's Day. I love it. And that's my message for today, y'all. I say stay positive. Be as loving as you can be. Open up to receiving love in the most healthiest way that you can, right? And continue to learn about love. But start with self-love because that's the starting point, right? Yes, y'all. I hope you have a good weekend too, motherfucker. Yes, I love it. But I love y'all. And I say always move with love and peace. And like Pat said, give each other grace. We are learning, we are trying, right? But let me tell you something. Don't be a sacrificial lamb to anybody. Okay? And sacrifice your emotional healthy state, right? Recognize when your emotional state is being impacted and know when to move out of that space, right? And if you find yourself in the darkest places, reach out to your support system and let them know, I need you. And support system, sometimes just being quiet and listening is enough. You don't always have to give advice. You don't always have to say something. Talking to me too. Sometimes listening is enough. Use your support system. Thank you, y'all. Yes, Aquanda, stay as positive as you can be, right? But even when you're not feeling positive, know we are here. Use your support system. I'm not a professional, so I'm limited in the amount of help I can give, but I can listen. I can call somebody, right? But don't do it alone. This is what this platform is about. Building a village. You don't have to do it alone. You don't. Yep, y'all, you're right. Just hilarious is a good example of the mindset. Deb said, you talking to me as well. I'm learning to just be quiet and listen. I don't always have to go in to fix it. You don't. You don't. You don't need to go into fix it mode. Okay? And with that message, always move in peace and love. But even when you don't feel so peaceful and so loving, reach out to your support system. I'm talking to myself too, because I don't always reach out. I just be like, it's hard for me to ask for help. And it might be the same for a lot of other people, but we got to learn to do better. Ask for help. No matter how low, you can still go. I'm going to send y'all out with some positive vibes and some positive energy because I know y'all got it in you. All right? No matter how low,
even when you feel low, you can still
or
go.
even when you feel,
even when you feel slow, you can still go.
And you can.
Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
Yep.
I never answered to no, man, I still go.
And I don't. This is Coffee with Friends, and I'm raw to the bone. Come back Monday, y'all. Move in peace and love. Be safe this weekend, all right? Love yourself. Get this message. Hustle hard.
Every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave.
What?
Doing shit my way. The highway and in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want,
anything you need.
Your mind's got the key ingredients, believe.
Hey.
It'll see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go.
Hey.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
What?
Even when there's no hope, you can still
Come
go.
on.
I never answered to no, man, I still
And I don't, but today is Friday, y'all, so y'all get the whole song. Hashtag I matter. Hoodies available on my website, raw2bbone.com. I matter hoodie.
You got mine,
But even that could change. You can flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. Hey,
that's what I say.
fake it till you make it A.
And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best
Get
thoughts
you
saying,
one.
stay on repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain.
Hey, never slow yourself down. You could do some more. Cause I'm mad at y'all. If you want a hoodie, you better go order.
Even when you feel low, you can still
That's
go.
right.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
What?
Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
I never answer to no, man, I still go. Raw2thebone.com. Go get you a hoodie, y'all. I matter. And I don't, y'all. I'm out.